SCWIST is community. My name is Elana Brief. I was on the SCWIST board from 2004 to 2010, and I was president from 2008 to 2010. As a graduate student at UBC, I was involved with lots of SCWIST activities. That was in the 1990s. And after several postdocs, when I came back to Vancouver, I was recruited to be on the board for SCWIST. It's extraordinary what SCWIST has become. One of the lamentations we had as a SCWIST board in the early 2000s was that even though we intended to have a national reach, we couldn't reach. It was just too difficult to run events across the country. And now to see the types of events that are being run, the embrace of diversity that is forefront in all of the offerings, it's just a pleasure to see SCWIST blossom. Being a woman in science myself, the idea of supporting women in science was very important to me. When I first joined the board, though, the focus really was on women in academia. And although there was some representation on the board from women in other sectors, the events were mainly for women in academia. And the other programs that SCWIST was running, like Ms. Infinity and Immigrating Women in Science, were for other people. One of the things that was very important to me when I got onto the board was actually changing that direction, recognizing that very few women who are studying science will end up in academia. Very few people studying science end up in academia. And for SCWIST to really fulfill its mission to promote women in science and technology, we had to think broader than academia. But what I got into SCWIST for was because it actually did help me when I was in academia, and I wanted to give back some of what I had received. When I first joined the board, it was mainly women in academia who were on the board, whether graduate students or professors or women working in the faculties of science and applied science, as, for example, grants facilitators. And we were very capable people, but we were doing jobs that we had to learn how to do. For example, I was treasurer for many years, and I have a PhD in physics, so I'm okay with math, but I don't know accounting, I don't know bookkeeping. I had to learn all those skills. One of the things that was very important to me was matching the job requirement on the board with the right person who had the right skills. One of the things that was happening when I first joined SCWIST was that people were recruited on the board almost like a plea. Please join us. We need you. We need bodies on this board. We need people to run this organization. And what I wanted to see SCWIST become was a vehicle for people who believed in the mission to make it happen. So it was almost like I wanted people to feel compelled to join the board because of their own belief in the vision of SCWIST. And a few things happened that were very important to me when I was on the board and when I was president. One was we sought out and we received grants for board development. And I was able to attend a ton of board professional development workshops, including when I was treasurer, how to be a treasurer. But there was this one workshop that really grabbed me, and it was put on by Volunteer Vancouver, and it was called How to Find Skilled Volunteers. And it really resonated with me, because if there's anything true about our membership, it's that everyone is skilled. And yet we were using our members, we were just plugging people into where we needed people. Oh, we need someone to sit at the desk to do registration at the AGM. Great, you're a volunteer. And what this skilled volunteer idea is to match the skills with the actual position that we were asking someone to take on, the role that someone we were asking to take on in the organization. And so what needed to be forefront in, for example, a job description for skilled volunteers was not, we need you, but you have a vision for a better world, and whoa, your skills could really come in handy here. And around the time that I did the Skilled Volunteers workshop, two other things happened. One was we had the fabulous Dr. Linda Lanyon on the board with us, and she took on this idea of running, being the director of volunteers, running this new idea of thinking differently about volunteers, about thinking of volunteers as having skills that can be used in the organization to benefit the organization. And the other thing that was fun was right after the Skilled Volunteers workshop, there was another organization ran something called Time Raisers, where they were matching up artists. They had artists create works of art, and then they had it was like a networking session where people came to offer their volunteer hours, and not-for-profits were there to try to recruit these volunteers, to receive these volunteer hours. And so we had to be in a hurry to create job descriptions for that particular event. And in the creation of the job descriptions, we really realized what we were asking for, what we needed, what we had capacity to receive. And one of the things that I felt very strongly about as well when I was president was that it wasn't just the women sitting at the table who were on the board who would do the work. It's that everyone needed a committee supporting them, more people, more people, more people. And one of the things that Dr. Lanyon said to me was that we meet our mission as an organization through the volunteer program. The promotion of women in science can be done through women volunteering their skills in science and technology. So the richness of it and the work of it, but the richness of it was so beautiful to see what people could bring and what they did bring and what could flourish with each volunteer's unique contribution.